Hello everyone, hopefully you guys had a good holiday. We had a little spoiler today on the official Dragon Ball Super Facebook page of some Frieza stuff that supports the swap package. So just want to go over a deck we can make with it. Sure, there's a lot of people brewing swap after seeing this stuff, so nothing truly special. It's still nice to talk about it. Before we do that though, we're going to go over 4 cards that were added to the deck from the preview today. None of them are in the deck builders as of when I was making this, so did a little editing to make it look like they're in the decks. That's why we're going to show these pictures, because I can't really link the deck right now. I will eventually edit the comment of this video with the deck link once they do add the cards, so people can reference it later. But here we go. We have the win con of the deck, which is a 5-cost red-blue Frieza. That's triple strike. It has auto that when it attacks, choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier. They get minus 30k power for the turn, and then of course another auto, which isn't super relevant for us, but whenever the power of one of your opponent's battle cards decreases, your opponent mills the top 2 cards of their deck. So, interesting. It's basically a triple strike board wipe in this deck. Next we have the ignore energy exhaust of this set for red-blue. It just happens to be a Frieza, so nice. It does have an ability when it swings, it can give your opponent's leader card one of their battle cards minus 5k. Not that we'll be doing that very often. Next we have a 4-cost that becomes a 2-cost during your opponent's turn, and it has a counterattack ability. Negate the attack and play this card. Then active main, pay 2 red and a blue. Choose 1 red or blue Frieza card in your hand with energy cost of 5. Play it on top of this. So it's essentially turn 2 negate, turn 3 play the 5-drop on top of it. So one of the lines to get our Frieza. And we have this other 2-drop, 15k auto. When you play this card, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose the 1 red or blue Frieza clan card among them, and add to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So if we look at the deck, we only have one of those. It's more just because this deck focuses on the 5-drop win con. So you kind of need it in your hand for everything. So it's just another way of trying to find your 5-drop. It can be gotten with Assemble the Squad for free, so that's relevant as a 2-cost 15k or less. And we are running the blue Wish Dende leader, so that gives us access to a sparking super combo of the Great Saiyan Man and 4 Dimension Magics. We're using 7 of the regular Dragon Balls. Because this is heavy multicolor, there's a lot of turns where we don't have the free energy, so that's why we don't use any of the other balls. 4 combination attacks. It's a good active battle that punches a lot of cards in the meta right now, and it untaps energy, which is useful. It's also multicolor for charging. 2 coolers. It can pop cards, but mostly you're going to charge as energy. It's just mostly just another dual color. If you want, you could do like Emperor's Death Beam, for example, instead. You don't have to use this cooler. It also does more mill stuff. 2 swap Friezas, 2-drop swap Frieza. It's another target for some of the squad. You pay 1 to swap into a 3-drop Frieza that's red, which is this. Then you pay 2 more red to swap into a 5-drop red, which is this. So in theory, turn 3 you can play this for free to play this. Pay 1 to swap into this. Pay 2 to swap into this. So 3 energy. This also can pop 20k or less, so you got a little bit of removal going on here. Next we have 4 of our pseudo swap Frieza. So this Frieza is pay 1 red, send it to your drop from play. Choose a 3-cost blue or red Frieza from your hand put into play. So we do actually have these 2 Friezas also. And then has another ability, which is pay 1 blue, send this card from your drop to your warp, send a red or blue 3-cost Frieza from play to warp. And you can only do this stuff if your opponent has at least 3 energy, by the way. And you basically play the 5-drop red Frieza from hand. So in theory, if your opponent went first, turn 2 you can play this for free, to play this, use it to drop to pay 1 of these, pay the 1 blue to go to the 5. So on your turn 2, your opponent's turn 3, you can go into the 5 drop at the earliest. So that's pretty fun. We also have the option of if since this is a burst leader, maybe both these are in your drop as a later play. You can pay 3 to bring this back. It also has barrier, so it gets around a lot of counterplay stuff. And then you would pay 1 blue to send this from your warp, from the field to the warp, to play this 5 drop. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then kind of 4 if you count the other old way of doing it, ways of playing the 5 drop. It's a fairly linear deck, but it's pretty consistent. A lot of draw power, a lot of ways to stall out and control your opponent, fair amount of removal. So I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Love to hear your guys' ideas for the Frieza swap after seeing the cards, what you would do. If you would just stay with a Frieza leader, maybe go to the yellow Dende, because you do have access to the Emperor's Revival, which gets 4 costs Friezas. And for anyone who doesn't know, 4 costs or less, I should say, it doesn't say yellow Frieza. You could get any of these Friezas that are 4 or less with the Emperor too. So if you wanted to be able to do some drop shenanigans with that, you can go ahead and do that. The way I see it though, there's not enough room to do that after building this deck. So I haven't struggled to put super combos in. I like more of these. You could even argue like having 1 more of these. Or there's just another 5 drop Frieza you can play instead of that. It's just not as good as the multi 5 drop. So there's little tweaks you can make to the deck. But overall, it's very tight. There's not a lot of space for changing stuff. We'll have to see what other cards are spoiled in the future. They could affect a few cards in this deck. But overall, that's it. Best of luck to everyone. Have a great time. And see y'all during some sealed. Next week is going to be the expansion sealed. I'll definitely be going over that. I've done a video on it before if you want to watch it, but I'll go over my results after that. Bye everyone, and enjoy.